Black History Month celebrations continue here on North Dakota Today. And this morning, NDSU professor Mark Harvey is joining us to educate us a little bit more on this month's cultural significance. Welcome to North Dakota Today.
Good morning, Lisa. Thank you.
Well, first, let's just start with the basics. What is Black History Month and why is it so significant?
Well, Black History Month, which we celebrate in February, at least in the United States, is a time to celebrate and commemorate African American history. And we do it at NDSU, and lots of institutions like the Library of Congress and the National Archives do it, and universities and K through 12 schools celebrate it. So it's an event that is sort of infused throughout our national life.
How has it changed, do you think, over the years? And I feel like it's maybe even more important now. It's always been important, but from 5-10 years ago to how we address and celebrate now.
Well, I might go back just a little bit farther than that, Lisa. It began in 1926. It was started by a historian named Carter Goodson. And it began as what he called Negro History Week. So for a long time, for several decades, it was celebrated in February as a week-long event. And it was done in communities and by schools and various institutions. It finally became recognized as Black History Month in 1986. And so we have been focusing on it in February since then. The reason for February, by the way, is because February 12th is Abraham Lincoln's birthday, and February 14th is the birthday of Frederick Douglass, the great African-American abolitionist. So that's how and why the month of February became designated as the time of celebrating Black History Month.
How is NDSU celebrating this month?
Well, NDSU has two major features for Black History Month. One is a exhibit at the NDSU library, which is called Black America, The Story Will Tell. So if you go to the main NDSU library, you can see this exhibit, and it features topics such as art and culture, which includes music, the history of military service of African Americans, very important because African Americans, of course, have served in World Wars I and II, and even as far back as the Civil War, protest, Black fatherhood. So there's the library exhibit, which runs through the end of spring term. There's also an event being held a week from tomorrow, February 24th. It's called a Talk Back event. And it will feature a panel of students from the student multicultural organizations and various panelists who will be discussing a sort of a gamut of issues involving diversity and race and the challenges that we face today.
So you're at NDSU. We've talked to MSUM and UND just right here in the Valley. What advice would you give to maybe families to help celebrate this month on their own as well, since a lot of people aren't going out, or how they can make it maybe a family affair?
Well, one quick and easy way to do it, especially in a pandemic when people are at home, is to visit the web. There are lots and lots of websites on Black History Month that you can explore. There's all kinds of resources and videos that families can watch and learn from. I might just mention one website in particular. It's called asalh.org. asalh.org. That's the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. So that's one that people can look at. There are many, many others. So if you just Google Black History Month, you'll find all kinds of sites that can that you can learn from and explore and go down all kinds of links to learn more.
Let's just talk a little bit too. I mentioned this earlier. I feel like it's more important than ever here with what we have gone through with Black Lives Matter. Do you think that this is the time people really should step up and try to learn more?
There's absolutely no question. The importance of Black History Month is more important now than ever before because of what we've gone through recently with the death of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement. All of this puts a tremendous obligation, value, importance for all of us to learn our African American history, I would just say that the reason we study history is because we want a full picture of our past, and African American history is a great example of that. We have to understand the good and the bad. Certainly in African American history, there's stories of achievement and progress and resilience. There are also a lot of stories that are that are less easy to think about, things like segregation and certainly slavery and certainly things like lynching. But all of this gives us a full portrait of the past, and we need a full portrait of the past if we're going to come to grips with our situation today.
Mark Harvey, professor at NDSU, thank you so much for your time today.
You're very welcome, Lisa. Thank you.
Coming up next on North Dakota Today, we're checking in with our money guy to talk about protecting our wallets and bank accounts with warranties.